Well, it's been a seismic Saturday already over in the Shaky Isles. Wellington have sent just a little tremor across the Tasman by stealing the league leadership, albeit momentarily. So this is a six-pointer if ever there was one. Melbourne Victory had the chance, of course, to replace Perth themselves at the top of the ladder last week and failed. Is today the day they make their move against the Glory, who've sat atop the table for 16 weeks and simply refused to move. Perth, though, without a win in 6, yet last week they extended their advantage to 3 points. Surely it's now or never for Victory. Let's take a check on the teams. Starting with Melbourne Victory, and Kevin Muscat has moved to address their defensive issues by handing Mathieu Delpierre his first start since October, while Daniel Georgievski is included at left-back, just his second start since December. Lee Broxham and Scott Galloway are the two to miss out. Besart Berisha has 9 goals in 11 against the Glory, including famously that double strike in the 2012 Grand Final during his days with Brisbane. Now, one change for the Glory, but it is a very interesting inclusion in the shape of Mitch Nichols, who gets the nod ahead of Chris Harrell for his first start in 3 months. Nichols, of course, left the Victory for Cerezo Osaka back in 2013 after making just 14 appearances. Talking of which, Stani Vukovic equals Matt Thompson's all-time A-League appearance record with his 221st game in the competition this evening. Connor Payne in reserve for the Victory. Both his goals this season have come off the bench. Ditto Jamie McLaren, who's netted 4 as a sub for Perth. Well, it was gloomy earlier on today in Melbourne, but it's much brighter now. Cloudless skies overhead, or virtually so. Temperatures 21 degrees. The pitch in perfect nick. An absolutely pristine night for this top-of-the-table clash. Well, it is, as we know, the tightest premiership race in years. A 5-way battle for silverware. And Wellington and Sydney FC have already this weekend shown that they mean business. Are Perth the real deal, or are Victory about to show their class? These are the sorts of games that can have a big impact on the destiny of trophies, and many believe that either Victory or perhaps Adelaide, maybe Sydney, will shine through in the end. But Kenny Lowe has created a siege mentality around his Perth Glory outfits, and they have led for so long. They will not give in without a fight. And of course, they've already defeated Victory once in Geelong this season and once in the Cup. And for all Victory's firepower, their defence does remain a little vulnerable. This promises to be a classic. Victory against Glory, 1 against 2 prior to this weekend, with the leadership of the competition at stake. Time for Stand By Me, of which these fans have done a sterling job of doing over the last 10 years. It is members' night tonight. Melbourne Victory, one of the A-League's great success stories. Great noise inside Amy Park ahead of what we hope will be a great clash. They've had some good tussles already this season, and Glory have had the edge as we count down to the end of the season. These two very much in the mix for trophies. And off we go with Melbourne Victory in navy blue, their retro kit. Perth in all white with just a hint of purple. They have had their chances in recent weeks, Melbourne Victory. Tonight, Andy Harper, surely they must take it at home, particularly as they're against a team that's a little bit out of form at the moment.
G'day, Simon. It's fantastic to be here. What a night. Perfect for football. Perfect for 1v2.
And Nichols trying to steer it into the path of Andy Keogh and create an early chance for Perth. They get a corner.
And a perfect opportunity for Melbourne Victory to be the league leaders on the field, because they're the league leaders off the field. A fabulous job they've done as a football club, 10 years in the making and building. That Perth Glory won't want to give up their top spot without a fight. This will be a classic.
They've got a corner which Marinkovic is going to take in front of the Perth supporters. They've scored a fair few from set pieces, and Michael Thwaite nodded it towards goal. In a contest with Mathieu Delpierre, which has been Victory's Achilles heel this season, those set pieces. True, with only 3 wins out of their last 9 as well. The Asian Cup break really hasn't helped either team. They want to find a bit of form. De Silva can't dig it out. Finkler to the top of the box. Calfala to swing it in. A little bit too high for Valeri. Might fall for Barbarouses. And it's across the face and away for a throw-in. Both teams trying to impose their game on the other. In his opening minutes, Valeri. Finkler. Barbarouses gets clear of Jamison, who drags him back. Gives him an outstretched boot, and there's a free kick for the victory.
And given the occasion, there'll be a word on the run too, because a more regular season game, and with Costa Barbarouses away, Jamison might have picked up a yellow card there. What a duel that's going to be this evening. Barbarouses to Jamison. Both have had wonderful seasons today.
We talk about Costa Barbarouses' goals in recent week, 4 in 4, but he's got 7 assists as well this season. Playing centrally is Guy Finkler, who leads the league in that regard with 9. He's not going to take this set piece. Instead, it's going to be Fahid Ben Kalfala. Finkler is stationed on the edge of the box. So too Ansel, Delpierre and Milligan, with Valeri just behind them. Berisha is in there as well. Oh, and he went for goal, Kalfala. Cheeky.
Brilliant. And cheeky. Well reacted. Danny Vukovic. Look at the smirk on Kalfala's face. Hit it cleanly. Great work, Danny Vukovic.
Well, they spotted that Vukovic had drifted away towards the centre of the goal. Almost, but not quite, caught the goalkeeper napping. Here's the subsequent corner. Valeri goes for it. Dino Djurbic is going to try and latch onto De Silva's touch. Instead, it's with Guerrier on halfway. Was that an arm used by Kalfala? It was. And the pressure the officials are under. Not just from the players, on the benches as well.
Well, they're performing as well as the players at the moment, there's no doubt. They get bashed around a fair bit, the refs.
Marinkovic, flat to delivery this time. Victory looked for offside against Djurbic and didn't get it. Oh, and then Talic drove it straight into the midriff of his teammate. It'll break though for Thwaite, who'll chip it in. Here's Keogh onside! And there's the goal for Perth Glory! It's Andy Keogh! Just as he did in Geelong, he does again in Melbourne. Double figures this season for Andy Keogh, and it's the Glory who lead this top-of-the-table clash just before half-time too.
Well, it didn't come directly from the set piece, but it came from the wash-up. Victory couldn't clear their lines. Thwaite just dinks one right towards the penalty spot.
Now, is he off? I think he's offside, and the Victory players have raced towards the linesman near touchline to vent their frustration. Fahid Ben Kalfala, as you're watching this replay, I can tell you, has been shown a yellow card. They are livid, Melbourne Victory. What's your take, Andy?
I couldn't tell you at the moment. I'd need to see it again. He was incredibly free. Well, the Victory players have responded as one, which is not to be advised, because they've got a long way to go in this game.
Kevin Musker just reminding his players of that. There's confirmation of that yellow card. Fahid Ben Kalfala led the protests. And you can hear the Victory fans in the background. They've seen the replay on the big screen, and their view is clear. We'll look at it again in a few moments when we get the opportunity. But goodness me, just before the break as well. Perth will not care one jot. But there's already heat in this game, and you'd imagine that's only going to increase. De Silva is now dumped on the seat of his pants. Kenny Lowe's unhappy. Temper's starting to fray. And they've got to keep a lid on this. Here's the offside again. Well, he's offside for me.
Yeah, he's offside. He's offside, but it's closer than people think. But it's offside.
We're into stoppage time at the end of a frenetic and tense first half. Perth have their noses in front, controversially so. And here's the goal scorer, Andy Keogh. He'll push it towards the corner and look at Valerian and Georgievski trying to close down Nichols. Oh, goodness me. The officials might need protection going on off at half-time. And it's a pity, Andy, because otherwise, most of the decisions have been pretty good. There's another flash point. Here comes a card. It's only yellow against Dino Djurbic. Another flash point. More howls of protest from the home fans.
Well, Calfella wants to watch it. He's picked up a yellow card. We've seen players get done for retaliation, and he slung that right boot at. He was clearly fouled.
Well, it's on for one and all here in Melbourne. Now there's the initial challenge some moments ago on Danny De Silva, which Perth were irritated about. And there's the comeback from Dino Djurbic, you could call it, I suppose. Anyway, free kick floated in by Finkler. Victory desperate to get back on level terms. It breaks for Del Pierre across the face towards Barbarouses. And again they appeal Melbourne Victory for a penalty. They are furious. Quick release from Vukovic. You can't take your eye off this one for a second. This is brilliant stuff for the neutral. Less so if you're a committed fan of either of these clubs. We're almost into the 3rd minute of stoppage time. And there, thankfully, is half-time. Well, goodness me, so much to talk about. And they're going to continue the conversation, the Melbourne Victory players. Here's the latest talking point. Well, it does come off the point of the elbow of Josh Risdon, but I'm not sure you can give that as a penalty.
No, I'm with you.
But there is huge debate over the goal that was awarded by Chris Griffiths-Jones and his officials, scored by Andy Keogh with just 2 minutes of the first half to go. Prior to that, Victory had had a couple of good sniffs of goal, 2 good stops from Danny Vukovic. But it's Perth with their noses in front. The officials copping plenty, and plenty more to come in this one, you'd fancy. Half-time at Amy Park. Boy, you could cut the tension with a knife. Melbourne Victory 0, Perth Glory 1. Was a somewhat feisty first half, wasn't it? Let's see if the half-time Oranges have taken a little bit of the sting out of the game. You wouldn't bank on it, and immediately Victory on the front foot. No changes made by either coach at the break, although there is plenty of attacking firepower on both benches. And you'd imagine, Andy Harper, there's a few more tales going to be told in this one before the end of the night.
Oh, you'd think so. I was entranced by that first half. The football wasn't as fluid, but the contest was robust, keenly fought. Daniel De Silva's retaken the field, and he just adjusted his ribs on the way on to restart play.
Perth Glory just so tough to find a way through past that resolute defence. Only 8 goals conceded in 9 away games this season. Milligan, Victory trying to probe, well read by Djurbic. Milligan says, I'll have that. Now Djurbic is going to race back, which might let in Berisha. And Jamison provides cover.
But even then, it's on the half-touch. The Victory players are stretching. They just can't get any clean feed into the penalty area. It's just been a dogged performance from Perth. The noses in front, care of that controversial goal just on the edge of half-time.
Barbarouses has 2 defenders to deal with. Jamison comes away with the ball. Now Keogh needs to make it stick. Can't do so. Taken off in by Guerrier. Back come the Victory. More pressure to be applied. Calfella finding a bit of space. This looks more promising. Georgievski! Parity restored. Daniel Georgievski with a beautiful curling effort into the corner. Vukovic no chance. 1-1.
Welcome gone back to the starting 11, Daniel Georgievski. Important, the tackle by Geria on Kea to win back possession, and the ball finds its way into some space. Never in doubt from the Macedonian international. Valeri feeds Kalfala some rare space in front of the Glory back four. Even rarer space inside the penalty area. And a wonderful finish. It has to be to beat Danny Vukovic. He doesn't even go for it. That's how good that finish was.
Talking of finishes, how good is this finish going to be to this contest? Victory being roared on. Fahid Ben Kalfala, is he dragged down by Risdon? He is. That's going to be another card. In fact, Roston Griffiths has got one as well.
Risdon and Griffiths both in the book. It's quicker to tell you which Perth Glory players aren't on yellow cards.
Roston Griffiths' 7th yellow of this season. Josh Risdon's 4th. Almost unbearable tension and pressure at Amy Park. Kalfala slaloming his way through.
Well, there wasn't much in it, but there's enough. A wonderful piece of penetrative dribbling from Fahid Ben Kalfala.
Now, Ben Kalfala has just glanced towards Kevin Muscat as if to say, am I getting another go here, or is this Guy Finkler's turn? Yeah, this is going to be Finkler's. And no mistake. The Brazilian saying, you've had 2 goes, sunshine. It's my turn. The noise reverberating around Amy Park. Guy Finkler within range. Yeah, the ball did its job. Nichols. Nichols, who must be feeling it. Oh, Kenny Lowe has prevented Guy Finkler from taking the throw-in. He's saying it was accidental.
It was accidental. It was accidental.
Terry, mate, he's so involved in the play, he wants to actually physically get involved in it, Kenny Lowe.
But he was actually outside the technical area. But anyway, common sense has prevailed. He didn't intend to interfere.
Into stoppage time now. Victory are going to make another change presently. We're going to have 5 additional minutes. That's what the neutral wanted to see.
Give us 10.
Now, here's Jamie McLaren. Good release. Jamison on the left. Could Perth steal it, perhaps? Inside him is Marinkovic. Harold, bit of room. First touch was headed. Oh, crunching challenge from Jason Geria.
Get square.
Yeah. Well, he didn't miss, did he? But he got the ball, and here come Victory up at the other end. Kalfala held up by Risdon. He's got to be careful. He's one of those 7 players on a yellow card. So too is Mitch Nichols. He could be off here. Mitch Nichols against his old club. He is. Well, I didn't think we'd escape tonight without seeing a red card. And it's gone to the former Melbourne Victory player. Well, would you believe it?
Mitch Nichols is already preparing his defence, and that is, Carl, tell the ref I didn't touch her. But as soon as the ref blew for the foul, Mitch Nichols turned to the dressing room. His instinct was, I'm gone. And even if there wasn't any contact, which there probably wasn't, No, although he's lunged in, he rolled the dice, Mitch Nichols.
Well, he's rolling down his socks. He's in no rush to get off. But I tell you, he did leave Melbourne under rather acrimonious circumstances, and the fans who used to cheer him are letting him know exactly what they think about him. Meantime, Jason Geria has been substituted in favour of Rashid Mahazi. So Perth down to 10. Mitch Nichols sent off, 2nd yellow card, and there are 3 minutes, probably plus a little bit more to play.
And there were plenty of verbals on the way down.
No doubt. There's been plenty of verbals all night, Andy. I think there's only me and you who haven't exchanged them. Maybe that's later. Milligan. Calfella not going to reach that one. Well, this will be an excellent point for Perth Glory. Less so for Kevin Muscat's team. And answer me this, Andy. How can a team that's within a couple of minutes of going 7 games without a win in the A-League be top of the table? Well, that's the truth of the matter, if it ends up 1-1.
Well, because all the teams around them, Simon, have had the starters as well. It's only Sydney FC since the resumption after the Asian Cup who've been putting winning performances together.
And Wellington, of course, who've...
well, they've won their last 2, but they were stuttering before then.
Yep. The Glory are not home for the point yet. Berisha shifts it out towards Barbarouses on the left now. Calfella, again encouraged to have a go. Fahid Ben Calfella, and it's punched away by Vukovic at the expense of another corner. And Victory moving to double figures now in that regard.
Well, he's had plenty of Everton goal, Calfella. And most of them have forced this or something like it from Danny Vukovic.
He's had 6 shots tonight. That the latest of them. Too hot to hold for Vukovic. Here's the corner from Calfella. Again, it's evaded everybody. Georgievski. Thought about winding up for the big one, and his return, or attempted return, towards the penalty box was blocked by Keogh. And we're into the 5th minute of those 5 additional. Zadkovic anywhere will do for Perth. A man light, of course, in these closing moments. Calfella. Can they create something? One final chance. It's too high for Berisha. Perth are very tired. They've defended doggedly. Calfella can't get away from Marinkovic, who looks for a white jersey, and there are none. At least not ahead of him. And they've lost the ball again. Here's Barbarouses. Chance here for the Victory. Finkler. And a total miscue. Just at the vital moment. Goodness me. And Glory get a free kick to relieve the pressure. What a game.
Well, it hasn't been Finkler's night tonight. And I guess best summed up by that last effort as the ball swung to him. He went for the far post. He's missed it completely. It's hit his support foot. Amazing. Even the very best.
On we go into the 6th minute of stoppage time. Keogh still a willing runner. Check of the watch from Chris Griffiths-Jones. Nathan Coe and Mathieu Delpierre almost getting in a bit of a mess, as they did in the first half. Another look at the watch, and that'll do. And after all that, a point seems scant regard. For the neutral, it was excellent entertainment. The officials at the centre of the drama. Chris Griffiths-Jones issued a plethora of yellow cards, plus a second yellow to Mitch Nichols, but it was the goal that was scored by Perth Glory in the first half that will rankle with Kevin Muscat. Clearly offside. They managed to get back on level terms thanks to Daniel Georgievski. Danny Vukovic made a few good saves on the occasion of his 221st record-equaling appearance in the A-League. And a point apiece is what they have to settle for. And for the 4th time this season, Perth leave Melbourne without having their colours lowered. They will stay top for a 17th week in a row. They are proving almost impossible to dislodge from their Perth. Full-time scoreline, Victory 1, Glory 1.